Now, good morning. This is Kasturi De. Today, I am going to discuss the transportation of food and minerals in the plants. That chapter according to Class 8 ICSE syllabus. So, this is the third video I am starting with. Today, I am going to discuss the steps of absorption of water and also the absorption of minerals. How the minerals are absorbed by the plants. Okay, so let me start with first is the steps of absorption of water. So we know that water is absorbed by the root hair cells by the process of osmosis. I told you in the last video. So the concentration of water molecules in the soil is higher. Okay, and through osmosis water enters the root hair cells from outside. Then the concentration of water in the root hair cells become more than the surrounding cells, that is the cortex, the surrounding cells around the root hair, that is the cortex cells. Okay. Now water enters the cortex. Root hair cells, they have more water and the cortex have less water. So now the water moves from the root hair cells to the cortex. Then water travels upwards from cell to cell against the force of gravity. How that enters? Through the xylem tissue. Okay. Now first, that is the water which was outside into the soil that had higher concentration. Now through osmosis water is entering into the root hair cells where the concentration of water was less. Okay. Now from there the cortex, the root hair cells, from the root hair cells the cortex concentration of water is less. So now the water is moving from the root hair cells to the cortex, and from the cortex they are moving upward from cell to cell, okay, against the force of gravity throughout, rising through the stem. That is done by the xylem tissue. Okay. Next is we are coming to absorption of minerals. Now most minerals which are dissolved in water, most minerals are generally dissolved in water. So what are those minerals that are dissolved in water? Mainly they are calcium, potassium, magnesium and nitrogen. Now this absorption of minerals are done by two processes. One is diffusion, another is active transport. So what is diffusion? Diffusion is concentration of mineral molecules is higher in the soil than the root hairs, and root hair cells absorb these minerals. It is a process that the molecules are moving from higher concentration to lower concentration. This is diffusion. So that the concentration of the minerals molecules inside the soil is more than in the root hair cells. So the minerals are moving from higher to lower, that is from the outside from the soil to the root hair cells. Okay. Now active transport. Active transport is the opposite. That is, active transport is from where the concentration is less and the concentration is more. The molecules move from lower concentration to higher concentration. Okay. Now normally root hair cells have more concentration of minerals than outside. Okay. So what happens? Active transport is still the root hair cells absorb them during active transport. So it requires, as it is opposite of diffusion, it requires more energy. It involves energy for this. Okay, as it is opposite of diffusion. So it's easier for molecules to move from higher to lower. But here it happens in active transport, what happens? The molecules are moving from lower to higher. So it requires energy. Okay. So this is the root hair cell, which it looks like this is the cell membrane. Okay. This is the cell wall. This is the cell membrane. This is the cytoplasm. This is the vacuole and this is the nucleus. Okay. Now these are the soil particles which are surrounded here. So the water will automatically go from higher to lower through osmosis. But the minerals which are have a lower concentration in the soil than the molecules which have the root hair cells which have higher concentration of minerals inside it. Still, the molecules of minerals, they move from the soil to inside the root hair cells. This is done through active transport. This is the magnified image of the root hair cell, root hairs. So this occurs, this is the root hair, these are the soil particles, this is the vacuole, and this is the xylem. So this is the process. The arrow indicates how the water and minerals, they move from the soil to the root hair cells, then to the cortex cells, and through the xylem to the stem. Okay. This is the passage of water and minerals from the soil to the xylem of the root. Okay. See, here the diffusion of minerals from the soil into the root hair cells. This is the minerals, these are the minerals here, and these are the minerals here. These are the soil particles, and these dots are the mineral ones, mineral particles. So minerals are entering through this. This is by diffusion, where the concentration is higher. Here it is less concentration. Okay, this is automatically they are moving as higher to lower. It's much easier. That it does not involve any energy. So, but here in active transport, they're opposite of diffusion. Here the mineral molecules are less, whereas the mineral molecules inside the root hair cells, they are more. So through active transport, they are moving from lower to higher concentration. This involves energy. Okay, the transport of water and minerals is known as ascent of sap. Okay. Now, what is ascent of sap? Now, root hair cells from the soil absorb through osmosis water and minerals through active transport and diffusion. Okay. Now, these water and minerals concentration get reduced in the xylem. Water, the concentration get reduced in the xylem. And minerals, they get concentrated in the xylem. In the xylem, they concentrated in the xylem, and water, concentration get reduced in the xylem. Now, this is concentration gradient. Through concentration gradient, they draw more water and minerals by the roots. When there is concentration gradient, that is when there is xylem concentration, the water concentration in the xylem is becoming less and the mineral concentration is rising, then what happens? It is pulling the water from the root hair cells. Plants is pulling the water through osmosis from the root hair cells and the minerals through active transport or diffusion, depending on the concentration of the minerals inside the cells. So this is concentration gradient, and so through this the water is drawing more water and minerals by the roots. There is continuous inflow of water in the roots, which is creating a root pressure. Okay, this is continuous process, this absorption. Then again there is concentration gradient, again it is absorbing. So this is a continuous flow which is going on inside the root hairs, in the roots. Therefore that is creating a root pressure. Okay, that is pushing the plant sap upwards. Okay, pushing the plant sap upwards. Okay, now through this, when that is this root pressure is pulling the plant sap upwards, and that is done by transpiration pull. When there is transpiration pull, when the plant is water from the roots roots move to the stem through the xylem, and the sap, that is water and minerals through the xylem, move upward to the other parts of the plant. So what happens? First of all, I tell you, there is transpiration process. So wind is blowing, there is sunlight, everything is there, evaporation is taking place through the leaves, through the leaves which have stomata. there is a transpiration taking place. Transpiration is processes taking place, that is water from the leaves are moving out from the plant. So that is creating transpiration, that is creating a deficiency of water in the xylem. Concentration in the xylem of water is reducing in the xylem. Okay, now that is pulling the water and minerals from the plant, from the root hairs. So water is being absorbed from the root hairs through osmosis, and minerals are being absorbed along with that water. Minerals are being absorbed through water active transport and diffusion, depending upon the concentration of minerals inside the xylem tissue. Okay, or rather inside the root hair cells. So concentration gradient is depending on the concentration gradient, the water and minerals are being absorbed by the root hair cells. Okay, now this transpiration pull is pulling the water from the, absorbing the water from the roots. Now this root hairs, they are absorbing the water from cell to cell. Osmosis is being carried on, and with that osmosis, there is what is happening, the sap, that is the water and minerals along with, that is the combination of water and minerals, that sap that is called, that is also pulling, that is also going upwards against the gravity in through the root hairs, through the xylem tissue up the stem. Okay, so this is a continuous process going on, that is absorbing the roots, absorbing the water and minerals through the roots and creating a root pressure. And that is done by transpiration pull, and this transpiration pull is creating a concentration gradient inside the xylem tissue. Again, this xylem tissue is now pulling the water from the root hairs, from the roots hair cells, absorbing more water and minerals. This process is continuously going on, and this total process is known as ascent of sap. Okay, I think you have understood, and if you have any doubt, please do write in the comment box. And if you have any suggestions also to improve my video, you can also post right in the comment box. Okay, if you like the video, press the like button, and so that I can produce you much more interesting videos. And if you are a new viewer to my channel or not subscribed yet, please do subscribe to get the notification of my next video. Thank you.